Morning, chat. Oh god. Alright. So we need to figure out what the hell we're doing here. Ooh, it's gonna be a while too. Goodness. All right, so we gotta pull. I kind of want to rebuild the. The floor was looking pretty comfortable last night when I went to bed. Oh, it's got Deathridge. I'll usurper. All right. Good morning, ambitiously wealthy. All right. What are we doing with these? We're gonna need some serious time after that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I asked my wife to take the hangover away, but she refused. We haven't had to use this tag in a while, have we, QED? Yeah. He says it's my own fault. No, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. Our mech bay is suddenly busy again. I like it. I do want to look at the... So this guy is probably a couple weeks out still. Well, probably today, but a couple weeks out in game time. Look at this gun. That was one gun right here. What did it do? Look how many slots it is. It's a 20-ton artillery piece. If I had a good hangover breakfast, no. I probably won't eat until about noon. But I agree, full English breakfast is a pretty fucking great way to deal with hangovers. Alright, so are we good on the idea of pulling the line breaker out of action? Or the punchback out of action? We're 20... No, we're not 25 days on Shadowhawk. We're 2 days on the Shadowhawk. Lots of fats and proteins. Yum. I will do it on coffee and an empty stomach. Is how we'll beat this hangover. I wanted to check the VOD from yesterday. If anyone has a second and they would like to take the screen, you know, there's like 3 screens at the end of a fight. The screen at the end of the last fight we did that shows the number of kills would be really nice. I'm pretty certain red button did some serious work. Drown the hangover in Greece, worry about the heart attack later. I'm not worried about a heart attack. And we really need to make a decision. Are we just scrapping 2-ball? We might be. Like this 50-ton. And how close are we to 6 mechs? I wish it told me what these did after I built them. Enable us to drop 1 additional mech. we have 2 others, repaired mech bay and repaired mech bay. So I think we're actually on 6 now. Great in progress. What though? Drop tonnage? I think we're building the 2nd bay right now. Command console. Command console is presumably actually the control of the mech. So we're gonna have 6 mechs ready to be available to us. Okay. 6 mechs. I think the spider's pretty good. It's mobile, does okay damage, runs ECM. It's fine. I think the line breaker is pretty good. Morning, Angular. I think that's 2. What are we currently working with? We're looking at 9. We have 9 mechs? Really? Okay. Shadowhawk is a hunchback replacement. Nice, Scott. Thanks. Okay, I can see that. I can repost. If you'd give me a second, I could have permitted it, but appreciate that. Yeah, so that was, I mean, I'll repost that right now. Thank you for taking the time to do that. That's the breakdown on the mission. If you look at that, I mean, fucking red button, top kills there. He single-handedly wrecked that hostile mech.
Filthy N1.
Thank you, Azatul, for the 7 months. Crushed those vehicles and wrecked that mech from behind. Basically held up our entire one side during the end of that fight. Wish there were damage stats on the end. Pretty certain we get an upgrade off that too.
What's up, boss?
Yeah, we do. Get to use our first berserker.
Training complete.
Now we can get some fucking piloting on him too. Won't that be exciting? That is exciting. It's gonna be more than 5 days before we can run a mission, so shouldn't worry about that too late. We just gotta do pilot training after. Should probably add it to my bullet points. Oh, I think I have it on there, but we want to swap the mechs. Okay, so we're counting mechs to figure out what the fuck we're doing with them. All right. That's getting broken down. Line breaker's there. We've built a mid-range Griffin, right? This is close. So we want... This was a mid-range? Okay. Mid-range PPCs, probably. Good morning, fallacies. That's 4. The melee mech. Melee Velk. That's 5.
You have returned.
Thank you for the 15 months, Drunk Danish.
Morning. Any plans on streaming MTG Arena anytime soon?
So I streamed the pre-release, Drunk Danish, and then I played a little bit on my own one evening, and I found myself getting extremely frustrated with lands again. So I've kind of got the little bit of new set hype as well going on, but finding some of the core mechanics annoying, I think probably not is the answer to plans on streaming anytime soon. I mean, that's 5. The line breaker, the mid-ranger, giant spider, red button, and some sort of long range. No, and the melee Valk. Use that same old land screw. Yeah, kind of. Floods, screws. There's certainly mechanics in the game right now that are a little bit better about that, but it's just so insanely frustrating to. I think I lost like 3 games back to back with like land-related issues. Either like missing a color in a 2-color deck with a 9/8 land distribution, like missing a color for an entire fucking game to lose. You know, like that was one of them. Like, it just, and then there's some really dumb rares in that set too right now. That 3/5 flyer that gets hexproof whenever you discard a card and draws you a card every turn when you attack with it. That becomes a 5/5 flyer. That thing's pretty fucking. There's a number of fucking dumb cards in that set for rares. I don't know. I think not is the answer. I was enjoying parts of it, but also like reminding myself why I don't want to play Magic online as a stream. So. Yeah, and of course I'm evaluating everything from limited because that's where I was looking at. Okay, so then next number 6 here then is either. I mean, eventually it's going to be the catapult. No, it's not a catapult. I keep calling it a catapult. What is it? It is a marauder. Excuse me. Marauder. Mech 7 is the Centurion. And Mech 8 could be. I think this variant of the Hunchback, the one we have, cannot run autocannons. Yeah. Except if it's support fucking autocannons. Jesus. Hey, Desaltman. Do we have another mech? I think we do, but I think we're currently. No, we don't. See ya. All right. All right, so the biggest decision is how long do we want to be out of action for? We can pay our guys for about a month. And if we start doing expensive mech stuff, it's even less. Thank you, Desaltman. Yes, mech building time indeed. Do we want to sell anything too? Yeah, we want to sell shit while we can. Jesus, it sells for a lot. I mean, isn't this the build with the orbital? Think we'll ever get 4 more Cyclopses? I'm not sure how that part is worth so much. I think it's a little bit of it being a fancy mech and a little bit of us having good rep with this faction. Purple backgrounds sell higher? I didn't know that. I did wonder what purple backgrounds meant. Guess we could junk some shit at the store. Okay, so we gotta. All right. Somewhere we have to start on this roller coaster, right? Or this. No, it's not a roller coaster. What am I looking for? This wheel. Yeah, I've been there. Been there, Control. Large pulse, ER large lasers, ER large laser clan, large pulse, LBX 20s, light PPCs. I'm not very excited about a light PPC, quite honestly. Regular medium lasers. There's no way we only have 3 pulse. Where's the rest of our pulse? Picked up that SRM streak. That's something we would really like to get on one of our mechs. This is a mid-range weapon. Doesn't really... I mean, it fits with the... Fits with our line holder. Yeah, the problem with I agree. The medium... Or the light PPC is just really underwhelming. I mean, maybe... I mean, it does less damage in a pulse, though, is the problem. Less damage in a pulse, more heat. More tons. More slots. I'm not big on that weapon. Might be a sellable, too. Picked up claws. It's a hand actuator. It's a very nice modifier. Oh, we got that sweet composite, didn't we? Oh, baby, we got some mech baying to do this morning. My wife's gone, so I can say that. Otherwise, she'd be like, who you calling oh, baby on the internet? And I'd be like, look. It's okay. She's pretty cool. Aluminum armor. Okay. It's not the mech so much, QED, it's the mech bay. We have a passion that has spanned distant star systems. God, I gotta get that coffee needs to like jumpstart the brain. So we oh man. We have so much mech bay to do right now. I like how that fight goes. I hope it's sustainable. If I were to tweak settings on this game and play another run, I would tweak it such that we played more of the very hard missions with cooldown between kind of stuff. I liked the incremental gain of fighting for mech bay time in the early game. I thought that was cool, but I liked the harder missions more. Presumably we scrap a hunchback. We're definitely... Yes is the answer, and no at the same time. So here's... Okay. So our first consideration is how long are we going to be out of mechs for? And the second is, what are the 6 working mechs we're going to build? And I think... Thank you, the Dune. Welcome.
It fills you with determination.
I think it's time to retire Stealth Pew. A, it's a 13-day repair. And the problem is, honestly, with this, is that I think that just becomes a good timing to get rid of it, right? But if we pull apart our Stealth Pew, we really do not have a 5-man squad right now. Because we're lacking one of our frontline mechs. This is one of our brawlers. We need to have 2 decent brawlers. Yeah, we could do some shit missions. That's fair.
Take off your shoes. Make yourself comfortable.
There are some 2 stars, although only the lowest we have now is 1.5 stars. Was the void system destroyed? I haven't looked yet. I was told by chat it wasn't. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this apart. We're going to stop work. And we're going to grab this guy. Going to repair this. Chat lied to me. It destroys the void system. That sucks. So if you lose a single limb, it wasn't a through armor crit. It was this arm got blown off. No, the cockpits never got crit. You can see here, this thing, both our center cockpits are still on, they're still armored, both front and back. We didn't take cockpit hits on this mech. Reset the repair and see? What do you mean?
Another poor fool, lost in time and space.
Thanks, Scott, for the gifted sub. Welcome, Phil Keegan. Well, that really blows. Ah, damn, that's my favorite piece of tech we have. Fuck. Well, the Hunchback is definitely retired then. Because that's the only thing keeping the Hunchback relevant. Alright, I don't actually have to replace this arm then if the void system doesn't come off. So we need to pull some components off this guy. Man, that just is really bad because that was the survivability on this mech. And it did a really good job. If you ice, doesn't it just pull all? I can't store it with this arm unreplaced. So I should take the stuff that we're going to be building into other mechs for. Man, I am really bummed about that. Gets expensive for this though. What's the repair time on the just the arm? Two days, 60K, and then we can ice it? That might be better. This is 64K to do that. We're gonna sell it anyways, right? Man. That was so good. $64.7, $64.6 apparently. Apparently we save 100 doing it that way. I don't know how. I don't really want it to replace the it costs me 100 more to just strip the broken part than it does to replace it. It's so weird. Oh, the medium can be repaired? Okay. How do you know that? That's what the orange slashy means, as opposed to the red? It says. Well, is repair replaced here? Fuck.
Logged and over. Shouldn't be too hard.
Blows up my arm as his last move on the last turn of that fucking mission. Right before he dies and takes out my stealth tech. fucker. What a fucker. Absolute asshole. This thing is not tanky enough, by the way. It's too easy to kill this thing. It doesn't generate enough evasion pips moving, and it it doesn't have enough armor when it gets hit. I mean, honestly, we're lucky this didn't blow up last fight, quite honestly. I think we're retiring 2-ball. I'm not entirely... I mean, I don't know. The thing is, having a PPC boat like that is good. And we don't have something to replace that right now. Do we have to just roll with it for a bit longer? Kind of wanted those PPCs. What are the slots on this thing? 4 of 4 laser hardpoints. Where are they? They're on arms too, man. That's where I want my... So the question is then, yes, the Marauder can technically run PPCs. But what are our brawlers going to be now? We don't have fucking stealth, so we're going to brawl with 255-ton mechs. Yeah, I was wondering about the snub-nose PPC on this guy too. It's annoying because we just finished the Griffin desaltment that's running basically 3 snub-nose PPCs. We had 2 in a large laser, but we can change the snub-nose for a large laser. But this one could run 4. You can run 4 comfortably. It's also, does it have missile mounts? No missile mounts, so it can't run the SRMs. Yeah, this thing's gonna be forever before it's ready, Klozagoth. Jesus. Do we have 4?
Morning, Brew Crew. Hope everyone's day is going well thus far.
Morning, Jamor. Thank you for the 6 months. Did we end up getting ammo for this? The 240 optimal one? 240 optimal is not quite the snub-nose PPC optimal. I don't know if I want to build autocannons on this or not. They're not arm mounted, which pisses me off. But we do need to decide what to do with this guy. And when to do it. So... these are going to be 1-day builds, or 2-day builds, 1-day build, and then we're stripping them. They're gone. That brings us down to the Shadowhawk, Red Button, Giant Spider, the Line Breaker. The Shadowhawk has not been fit yet either, so that's a kind of a lie. I wonder how... I think that might have to go to the top of our queue for work orders if we're going to get a pulse replacement in. God, I'm so mad about the fucking stealth system. And the other thing is our Griffin is 2 days away from being complete. So we need to have between 4 and 5, preferably 5 mechs available for our next mission. I also was wondering about pilots too. Like, we kind of need some more pilots. We haven't needed them at all the entire time, but now we do. A, we have 3 wounded, so they're out for a while. And B, we're going to start running 6 at a time, which means we need 12 active pilots. I think at the very least here we want to hire 2. They're down for, I think, 14 days. Of these 2 pilots, I don't hate Master Tactician. This is fine. I was hoping to decide on some builds. Round and round. All right. We don't want to... Okay. Ready? Ready for this? To pick mech time, we need to get a sense of how long our downtime is before we can decide how we're building our mechs. Which means we need to have pilots to pilot ready to go when the downtide's done, and we need enough to actually pilot, which we have right now. But we need to start anytime time is progressing. We have the training pods on our ship, which means we need to get the pilots sooner rather than later. We don't want to spend time passing time in a system without pilots training. So we need to get the pilots going. But to get the pilots going, we need to decide on what builds we like. And when we started this campaign, we set up like 6 different builds or something, right? So we've got, I wish they weren't fatigued so I could show them. This is one of the builds, right? This is the Warlord Ace Piloting build. My thoughts on this have been, I don't think very much of Warlord. I don't give a shit about this ability. It seems whatever. It's a whatever ability. It's a small boost on 1 turn. Having used that stealth evasion ability, that ability kicks ass. That was... Where is that? That was on Aramaki, right? This ability, Phantom Mech, is disgusting. You think the 40 heat can be good? I mean, maybe. Maybe it's good in specific scenarios. It wasn't good last fight. The heat potion was irrelevant for the last couple fights. Almost every fight I use this because I build heat neutral mechs. The heat thing doesn't tend to be relevant unless I'm getting hit by flamer weapons. And the problem with waiting till I get hit with flamer weapons to respond with this is to get any value out of this, you want to use this on cooldown. So, I don't know. That ability doesn't seem great to me right now. Multi-fire also seems really lackluster to me. However, the 6 and 9 points on gunnery are really good, and the overall accuracy off gunnery is really good, and the range increase is really good. So in other words, gunnery is a great skill to great tree to have if you, but the fucking perks suck. Ace piloting is excellent. That stealth mech thing is phenomenal. The guts abilities are pure melee, so they're just whatever. And the tactics ability, Master Tactician is good. Sensor Lock is not so good. It's weird because Sensor Lock is really good when you don't have any ECM of your own, when you don't have any electronic countermeasure or electronic warfare of your own. As soon as you get enough electronic warfare, it basically doesn't do anything. It's like it removes 1 evasion pip, which is kind of awkward. So, I've honestly, like what I would like, and I mean, I guess I get there eventually, but like, man, it's a steep learning curve on the pilots to go that direction. Is I kind of want to build everyone for Phantom Mech. I kind of want Phantom Mech on everybody, and then like I'd also like some gunnery and some tactics. But okay, so we probably, I mean, honestly, we probably can't do that, right? These builds are okay, but what are they maximized for? So what do each of these builds do? There's okay, I think there's 4, right? So there's this build here. This is the let's write this down. This is the ace. This is the double gunnery. This is the gunnery ace. Gunnery plus ace build. I like this on the frontliners to some degree. Because it allows, but I also like this on the range characters. This is a decent direct line of sight range build, right? High accuracy, high range. Can shoot after moving to get the accuracy boost off a stable weapons platform, but still get in positions that are a little bit safer. Like, this has been decent. It's okay frontline because it has such high gunnery, which is really good for maxing our accuracy. But as our pilots get really well developed in terms of skills, that becomes less important because other people are picking up gunnery too. I think going off the skills is almost a trap. I think it's more about, if I think about it, if I step back and look at it fallacies, I actually think it might be about early game versus late game builds. in the early game, you have to have the accuracy to fucking keep up with the fact that all your mechs are garbage and all your pilots are garbage and you're facing enemies with like real loadouts. As you get later, I think you might be able to support basically paying the cost of supporting a weaker character until you get a better like late game payoff in terms of builds. But all right, but with this build, what type of mech do we want to put this guy in? This offers no survivability, really. So it's not, I mean, it offers a little bit in ace piloting. So it's not super helpful for the front line. Although it's okay. I mean, the piloting is nice. The stability, unsteady and stability is fine. I think this is, I'm not sure if this is line breaker style. This feels a little bit like, I think this is okay front line. I think primarily this would be best for a line of sight sniper. I think second would be a mid-range, and I think third would be a front line with this build. All right, let's take a look at the other builds. So this build is a slightly different variant of this build. This was me wondering, well, how good is Ace Pilot compared to waiting and acting after them? So I really do like Tactician, Master Tactician. It's nice not to get as penalized for example, like last fight where we dropped into heavy enemy fire on turn 1, where turn 1 we have no sensors, so our accuracy is shit, and we have 10 evasion pips, so it's really hard for them to hit us. So, oh, does that actually have a label on this thing? What is this thing called? Skirmisher. Oh, it has a name. Okay, well, we should be using the names to refer to that. Is it? But is that because even with that's with all 3 assigned? Is it called something else before then? Like 1/2 of a skirmisher? Okay. All right. So this one is a little bit different. Who wants this? This to me is much more of a frontline brawler build, because this works around basically you're trying to use your timing to maximize your evasion. This would, by the way, this build, I don't know if I like this build. I don't know if I would build this build again. Mostly because, again, like this just so many times these feel like dead skills. Like if you take this build and compare it to this build is fucking great. But anyways, we'll look at this. So this is so we did try this one. This is the sharpshooter build. It's interesting. They call this a sharpshooter build. So also gunnery, so good, decent accuracy. The tactics is really, really nice. I don't care about the indirect fire stuff here. This to me is probably my second favorite brawler build. What do we want this in? So this does not seem like a good position for an LOS sniper. So this is not a sniper build. I think this is a brawler build. Yeah. All right. And I give this build like a B. Sniper with called shot mastery can be lethal. I haven't found long range called shots to be good yet. Maybe they get good late, like late. But even then, if we were gonna do called shot stuff, we should be running these guys. I think both of them are fatigued right now, but let's pull them up, which are this build here. And this build here, I think they actually do have level 9, which is the last called shot bonus. I would like these guys. These guys are probably... I mean, they're going to start getting decent gunnery now. I've been running them in the spiders all game long, but I've done that out of the idea that indirect fire might matter, and it never has. So far, we just don't use indirect fire. It's just worse all the time than direct fire, and we can get in direct fire range. And, yeah, so these are called strikers. This is probably wanting to be... okay, so the tactics part of this is kind of wasted. But we do get the double called shot bonuses. How much of a bonus is double called shot, chat? Like, what type of penalties are we working with? It starts at a minus 50% modifier. So what are we actually working with double called shot modifier? So there's one at like 4. No, it's 5. 6. There's one at 6 and there's one at 9. But what type of, how much of a bonus is it? What do we go from? 50% to what? I mean, we can test this. I don't want to test it now, but it would be nice here. So the strikers are 2 times called shot. That should be long. This should be things like autocannons, big ACs, PPCs. But this is not a sniper build because it does not allow the positioning that you really want with the sniper build, right? So this is probably like mid-range. It's probably optimal here. Okay. So that's 3 of the builds. There's more. What are the other builds? So this thing is fucking great. This is called a flanker, apparently. This build is the premier brawler build that I've found. With fucking this thing, our first mission using it, and it was godlike, this ability. I really don't think the snipers... Not having ace pilot is really rough for snipers. So for the striker build, this feels like to me what this wants to be using. If we're really going to take advantage of double called shot, and going out for sensor lock it ended up being a bit of a trap. So what are we realistically getting out of this? We're getting decent accuracy with good sensor distance, good view distance. So parts of those, I mean, I guess there's an argument for that. Mid-range or long range. Because they have the plus range distance. That has been useful for making sure that we don't have the no visuals or no sensor stuff. Although we are running a shit ton of support modules in the lances to make up for that. But they're not taking advantage of the called shot with the LRM. So really we want this using things like ACs and PPCs. And presumably we can get that bonus at long range, but I'm not sure how good it will be. And we can certainly get it at mid-range. Like, if we were running that, like, 230 optimal or 220 optimal AC build that we want to build, this would be, like, a perfect pilot for that. Same with probably the snub-nose PPCs. And because we don't have ace pilot, we're not quite as tanky. So I don't mind, the tactics stuff, because I don't mind being mid-range. The problem with making this a long-range dude is because he doesn't have ace pilot, you either give up accuracy when you're shooting at long range or you give up survivability, both of which are pretty bad. Anyways, that's the striker. So we're looking at the flanker next, which was this build where it's on Aramaki. Sure, I mean big ACs though. So the big ACs are the single hits, right? What does called shot take advantage of? My understanding with called shot is that called shot does not affect volleys. So if you launch a volley of missiles at something, only your first missile gets the called shot bonus, right? Or the called shot direction stuff. So what you're really looking for is big single target hits. Big ACs are very short range, but they're not. Big ACs are probably, they're a short range weapon, but if we have some, I'll show you them later. I don't want to go out of the screen right now. We have some big ACs with like a 230 optimal or so, which is certainly not, it's certainly close range, but it's a close to midi range, right? It's not like the one, like, it's not like, it's okay, it is fairly close range, sure. But yes, but those are like, we found just a couple ACs with that kind of, a couple autocannons with that kind of range. A lot of them are even worse, but yeah. Anyways, so this guy here, this is fucking great. This is the brawler build. This is my favorite frontline brawler, and I'm not putting them in anything else ever again. Took a while to get there because by leveling up piloting, they were very inaccurate for a very long period of time, but this thing is disgustingly fun. It's too bad because, like, I hate the fact that melee accuracy is totally wasted on here. We could consider with these, consider building some melee capabilities into some mechs. Since these guys have 14 accuracy or whatever. Alright, so that's the fourth build. And then the fifth build is this guy. This build here, which we just got Berserker. We haven't used yet. I like tactics on the melee mechs because it's really important the timing they go and engage. But I might next time build it this way. I might build piloting 4. You can even do higher than piloting 4 as long as you get these first. As long as you take tactics to 5, guts to 5. Probably, so it'd probably be tactics first, then guts, and then piloting. To like at least like 5 or 6 for better accuracy, and then up to Berserk. We need to see how good this ability is. We haven't used it yet. But this is called a Sentinel apparently, which is just, this is a melee build. Okay. All right. At the moment, how many of each do we have? We've got Skirmisher. Skirmisher? Wait. Oh, it's the first one. Okay. That's 1. Flanker, 1. Skirmisher, 2. This is currently building. The problem with once you have this is it gets locked into this. This is going to be a Sentinel. So I'll put this as 1 as well. This is the Striker. This is the Skirmisher. Again, that's 3 Skirmishers. This is the actual Sentinel. It's the second. This guy will end up as a Sentinel as well. He's actually very close. So that's 3. 3 melee pilots is kind of heavy for what we want. So we only have 1 melee mech. That means realistically, we're probably never using all 3 of those. I bought them for other reasons, but it's still worth noting that some of our pilots are pretty bad. What else could they go in besides melee? If we build some mechs that have melee potential, maybe they could be useful. I'm not sure. Besides the pure melee boats. Pathfinder is a sharpshooter. Pericles is a... Eventually, this is going to be the same build as Pathfinder, so this is another sharpshooter. And Test 9 is another skirmisher. Or a striker, rather. So somehow we only ended up with 1 flanker, even though that's my favorite build right now. We ended up with 3 fucking melee builds. I think because when we bought these guys, they had advanced skill points and it was already in Juggernaut. So what we want to do right now is we want to invest in 2 more flankers. Or possibly 1 striker and one flanker, or 1 striker and 3... or 2 strikers and 3 flankers or something. So probably we want to buy 3 pilots if we can, and we want to get 1 more striker, and 2 more flankers. Okay. Well, that was helpful. That actually did tell us what we wanted to do. So,
Nice to see you down
it's
here in the
unfortunate that we haven't hit any pilots with decent skills. This is Tactician. Tactician doesn't build any of these, right? We could take this as... So imagine this build. The flanker build that I really like here. I mean, the flanker build is not... No part of it cares about the gunnery. Well, I mean, it cares about the accuracy, but it doesn't care about the actual gunnery skill.
Standing by.
I mean, we could take this with Tactician at 5. I don't hate that. It actually synergizes very nicely with Phantom Mech, because Phantom Mech really likes it when you wait. Because you get 3 turns, essentially, of that accuracy. If you go first, activate Phantom Mech, move, shoot, and then next turn, you're basically passing to the end of the round. I guess it's still only 2 turns. So we don't need that. The multi-target is not fucking useful. The only reason we get multi-target is because we're so gung-ho about putting gunnery skills in. I mean, we could very easily start with tactics, piloting, gunnery. And we could make this an improved flanker. I think that guy could be used as an improved flanker if we took tactics first. Tactics, Master Tactician is really, really nice. And go Master Tactician into Ace Piloting. And then bring gunnery up to pop a couple points. And then pick up Phantom Mech. Multi's good for stripping evasion off. The game doesn't work that way with the mod. Taking shots at targets does not strip evasion in this mod. So multi doesn't help with that. Oh, I see. I mean, the only use I can find to multi-target is literally breaching shot. Or sometimes when you're overkilling a target, it's useful. Because then you can spread a little bit of damage to something else. But it's so rare you get like decent shots on the second one. It's often just wasted damage. I mean, that is the nice thing about a directional armor facing like this game has, is that you can waste damage. So, alright, the issue with that is we're like 256 in game days or something, right? And we're just now getting this guy online. So starting with 5 tactics means that, I mean, he's at 3 because he's fatigued right now, so everything's reduced by 1. But having him at 5 tactics is kind of a cost, right? Well, the shot's very useful for a mixed range loadout. I don't know, man. Very useful might be overselling that a bit. Very useful is killing a mech without having to go through all of its armor, which means hitting it in a location that it's vulnerable. Often a center torso, or often a side torso, or sometimes a back. All right, can we then, what I'm asking basically is if we go back to the hiring hall, can we take advantage of this? This guy has more stat points than the other people. Guts 2 is a little bad, but that's not a lot of points. All right, what are the passives on this guy? He's a tech, which is great. Dude, he's double mech tech. And a merchant. Holy shit, you're hired. Good talk.
New mech warriors available.
All right, so that's one of our flankers.
I'm receiving you.
All right, this guy has 2 starting bonuses of experience, which is good. It will get him going a little bit sooner, but no other abilities, kind of neutral.
Yes, Commander.
This guy has tech and lucky. Very low gunnery, starting at 4 piloting. 4-3-2, 4-3-3, very mediocre. It's gonna take a while to get him going.
What's up, Commander?
So, but what was his ability? He did have a tech skill. This person had no tech skills, but good combat skills. This person has neither tech nor combat. This one is pretty bad. We probably don't want to go near Hollywood. And Adrenaline is... I think he's a defender, right? No. Military command. Getting a third commander is not bad. There's this. Oh, that's a good point, Xenthalis. We haven't had that happen yet, but I did think about that the other night, like putting some chaff missiles on a like LRM would be nice. So this doesn't seem to be very relevant to me. Command is okay. Military is okay. So maybe we pick up these two. Tech and double experience. Just to get them going.
Commander?
This guy has 1 experience in command. Is it useful to have a third commander? It might be.
I live to serve.
But we're taking this guy, right? Yeah, we are. Alright.
New mech warriors available.
1 more. We need a striker.
Command.
Probably. I'm not sure. I don't think commander stacks. This guy's not a noble, right? Military command gladiator. So it's either, it's literally the, I don't think gladiator matters whatsoever so far. So it's literally between command and double experience to start with. And I think this is a fair chunk. I think this is like 4,000 experience or something, which is like 3 missions. It's probably greedy to go for the missions.
Receiving you.
Probably better to go for the, or excuse me, greedy to go for the experience. Probably better to go for the bonuses.
Waiting for orders.
It's kind of bad I don't really want either of them, but we need another person right now.
Orders.
All right.
New mech warriors available.
All right. So our new guys here.
Good to go.
This guy is going to be one of our flankers. So this is Mandrake. So we probably want to go gunnery 4 piloting. This is going to take forever to level up. This guy is going to be... These guys are renameable too. This is another nice spot of this. So is Megaflop, by the way. We have the ability to get chat names in here if we want them. This guy here probably wants to be another... So he's either going to go tactician, no, probably not, or striker. And what was the last guy? Adrenaline.
I'm here.
Okay. I think Adrenaline will become another striker. Okay. And, all right, so that means the Krill becomes our other mech. Okay. All right, that's sorted. Good. Now we can go to our mech bay.
Hey, Commander. Be with you in a second.
So we can move time forward 2 days to get these done with. And actually, I want to run that one. The stealth pew, and 2 ball are all good there. Getting red button repaired is all worthwhile. Okay, so we'll move this forward very slightly. 2 days. Day 3. And then day 4. Okay. That was a big fight. We got to recover from that fight. It was not fucking around here. All right, so we're going to strip everything off tube. We're retiring tube all, right? Like, we think we can build better mechs than this. Question is, will we be done in time? Because it was like a million hours to like repair this fucking thing. I mean, that is a decision we should make now, though, because we can go back to repairing this. We can even do it like bit by bit. I mean, just look at it. Look at the armor damage this fucking thing took, right? It just stripped it. All the frontal armor, all the center torso armor's gone, back and front. All the side torso armor's gone. All of its arm armor's gone. Like this feels like a take this apart kind of thing. Get its mods back. It's a little bit unfortunate because of the fuel cell, but I kind of want to move this fuel cell around too. I think this could be good still. You'd have to, I guess, this is a mod. Exclamation point Roguetech will tell you what the mod is. It's in the title. I think we're stripping. I think we're retiring this one. So this goes to storage. How do I put it in storage? Store battle mech. Yes. Okay, this should strip everything off of it. Same with this guy here. Okay. Yeah, it's okay, man. It's a really fun. It's not as clear in this title as it normally is. Partial on me. All right. All right. So that's 2 mechs stored now. We're 1 day to report, which is actually a good time to store. We need to sell before we move time forward. So min-max our store stuff. So let's get rid of stuff now. Stuff we don't want to use. A little bit hard because we haven't built some of the guys, but we should think about this. UAC ammo, yes. We want to keep that. Ammo is... I maybe should sell less ammo in general. I'm not sure. Streak SRM is great. LKs are fine. RDs are good. Doubles and regulars. I don't think we'll ever use SRM regular here. Plasma. Maybe. Narc Beacon, maybe. MRM's improved. Yes. Mortars. Minefield. No, fuck minefields. LRM ammos. We ever using generic LRM with LKs and swarm and a double? Seems unlikely. Certainly with the stuff we have now, there's no good launcher platforms, right? So I think this is just a no. Yeah, the Hunchbacks did great, but I think it is time to retire them if possible. Long Tom ammo. I mean, it feels silly to have this ammo when we don't have a Long Tom. We don't know when we're going to get one and we're not building around it. I would love to have an artillery piece in my stuff. AoE damage seems pretty nice, but I don't think so. Like Gauss double, LBX 10 cluster. Did we buy this? We didn't buy this, right? See, this is better because if I am going to use I don't think I have an LBX 10 weapon, but if I were going to use cluster ammo, it would be on one of the mid-range weapons or long range. It would never be on the close range one because cluster is fucking bad. Spreading damage across multiple locations is worse than hitting one location for bigger damage every time. Acid fluid and inferno fluid, both good. Medium chemicals, I might still use this at some point. AC's here. UAV, that's fine. Standard fusion engine, we need 1. I don't think I like the spiked helm. Actually, I know I don't like the spiked helm. It's cute, but it doesn't do what it needs to do. These modifiers are bad. I don't want minus gunnery, minus piloting, or minus tactics on the melee characters. All 3 of those stats are useful to that melee character. So we're getting rid of the spiked helmet. I'm not sure I'm ever going to use these cages, but with 6 mechs, it's more likely since we just don't have good cockpit stuff, so I'll hold on to them. I feel like these reinforced legs are never going to get used. Like, they don't add accuracy, they add weight for the cost of, for the benefit of leg armor, and I haven't found leg armor to be as good as other armors, so I think it's time to get rid of these. Rangefinder's been good. Don't know about these. We can't use these yet because we don't have a DHS, prototype DHS conversion kit. But it adds more than 1 ton. If I was going to fucking use the... and it's not even a case 2, right? It needs to be reinforced plus to get a case 2 in there. Case 1 is just not very good. Case 2 is very good. Partial wing system. Omnipart lower arm. Why do I have this? And a hand. Hands are good. Maybe if I ever used them. I'm not sure I would use these though. Okay, how are we on jump jets? 14 smalls can go down. We are actually, no, we just pulled off a bunch. We'll hold on to those for now. The rest of these, fine. Gyros, gunneries, guardians, armors. What is this? Oh, that's the breaching shot one. Energy, direct, ballistic, Artemis, sure. I don't know about this next one here. XL's fuel cell. I'm glad we got the fuel cell back. I want to kind of use that again. I think it's a very interesting piece. 1 small is fine. Basics, 1. I think we just sell basics, right? Case 2, ultras, tags, SRMs. I don't think I'm ever using an SRM4. And I'm not sure about an SRM6 either. Maybe on that though. I like rockets just fine. MG plus, I'm thinking about putting machine guns on something. The laser distribution looks pretty good, although I don't like pirate lasers. I mean, maybe I should like pirate lasers. This is a bad pulse, right? Except it weighs 1 instead of weighing 2. Generates roughly the same heat as a pulse laser. 16 as opposed to 15 does roughly the same damage. 27 instead of 33. It's like a slightly bad pulse. Three fluid guns is too many. Go down to 2. I do want to use these, but I'm not sure when. They haven't been good for us yet. They don't have enough range, and we don't have enough mechs running around. I do appreciate the PPCs, large lasers. I think a basic AC is just not going to get used at this point, right? Don't we have like a million better things? I'm never using AC2. We could sell hunchbacks. Should we? Is that or rebuild them? I don't want to rebuild them. They're going to be worse than our one that we just took apart. And that pirate laser, a fair point about not... I mean, this has +1 accuracy. And what do the pulses have? They have +1 accuracy and ignores 1 evasion pip. So this is massively worse than the fucking pulse. But quite a bit better than like the Magna. All right. So we're selling. I don't know if we want to sell the hunchbacks or not. Like, it's good money and we don't want to pay for them, and the cost of them is not nothing. Like, if we go to finances, like having the mechs, I mean, you pay for active mechs. You pay a fair chunk. So this is just like, I guess it's just like it's not an upkeep cost anymore. So it's a mech bay cost. Where is it? Where's my stuff? Mech bay stuff cost. Dude, the Marauder's costing us 102k upkeep. Jesus Christ. In here. 75k on cargo gear. And mech bay parts basically cost us nothing for mech bay parts. So we don't have to sell that right now. It's not really that relevant. All right. Although if we have any chassis parts we don't want, we should do that. I'd like to know how much money we're working with too, because we're gonna have this was an expensive fight that we took. And granted, we got a 75-ton mech out of it, totally worth it, but a very expensive fight for us. What do we want to get rid of these? Are we going to ever use the Cyclops? No. The only reason why I would want to put this back together is because I would want to get the orbital laser off of it. And I think that's kind of grasping at straws. I think we just get rid of this. This sells for a lot too. All right. And then the medium here. What are we going to get rid of here? We finished a Griffin. We don't have to build another one. We have a fire starter. We could get rid of that. I don't really want a 45-ton mech. That is the lightest mech of these. We already got one. I mean, it was another. This is another Omni fire starter though. And the Omni fire starter has been pretty sweet. I don't know about that. That's a maybe. All right. I need a quick break, chat. I'm gonna refill on coffee, etc. Back in like 2 minutes. We'll continue with this. All right, so my fucking game go there. Okay. What are we getting rid of out of here? The Apollo, never heard of it. 55. More Hunchbacks, 4Hs. Are the 4Hs the energy variants? No, these are the AC variant. I kind of want an AC Hunchback. I'm not certain about that, but maybe. And we have 2 and 2 there, so we probably build that. Enforcer, 3 parts. Trebuchet, 1 part, and it's a 50-ton, not a 55. I think that's a good buy. Clints. We're at 4 of 5 on a Clint. 1 of 5 on a Centurion, but we already built one. Kintaro, Hatchetman. We're almost done with our Ghosts. 3 of 5. 4 of 5 on Ghost. Maybe don't want to sell anything else here. Problem with the AC hunch is ballistic shot shoulder. It's annoying. Good to know. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know if we'll keep it or not, but I'm not ready to get rid of these. And getting some other mechs online might be nice. Eventually, maybe we'll have enough components that we can build multiple mechs. But right now, it's such a... Our good components have to be so focused to get good performance out of these mechs. Alright, so our Shadowhawk is done being repaired. And the Centurion is too. And neither of them are building right now. So, these are just repairs. Like, these are builds. I would like the Linebreaker to be done. Because I want to tweak the Linebreaker. We might be putting a different SRM package on there. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, if anyone knows what the rest of the colors are on this, that would be great. What's the difference between brown? I think brown is heavy. Although the catapult apparently is also heavy, but not brown. I have no idea what the other colors are. Alright, so we need to start work on the Marauder. Is just, unfortunately, the Marauder is a million days away from being ready. Like, we just can't count on that right now. Like, this is just, it's gonna take fucking forever. I don't want these on it right now either. Although maybe I do. Fuck. I'm gonna sell the long tom ammo. Do we want these? Do we want those PPCs on there? Because the thing is, right now, in 1 day we finish the mid-range, or 2 days we finish our mid-range Griffin, which is probably gonna go once. And I kind of wanted to swap the large pulse on it for a third snub nose. All right. So do we move time forward here a couple days? 2 days, I think, and we hit the mid-range. And we can start poking around again. Blue is light. Green is medium. Brown is heavy. Gray is assault. Purple is hero. Blue is light. Green is medium. Purple is hero. Okay, thanks. What is our current loadout on the Linebreaker? Oh, the Limstar. Alright, keep the stub noses, add an AC-20, give it a bigger engine. Pretty unexcited by mixing ballistics with the way the headgear in this game seems to work with this mod. I'm pretty unexcited about mixing weapon systems. Like, rarely do I feel like, oh, it's great to have ballistics and PPCs on this. Although we do have the minus recoil thing, but the minus recoil is already mitigated for piloting of 11, or piloting of 9 rather, which is really obtainable with the gunnery, gunnery of 9, which is really obtainable with the head implants. I don't know. The thing is, right now, what's throwing me, what I'm debating internally right now is our mid-range mech finishes in 2 days. It's currently running 2 snub-nose PPCs. It really would like a third. It's running 2 snub-nose PPCs and a large laser. It doesn't really want that. So either we keep the mid-range one, which we just built, and we haven't even used yet, or we're gonna rework it and take it on the catapult, or the Marauder rather. And if we take it on the Marauder, we probably want to leave these PPCs on. But I think I can do better than a mid-range with this guy. I think this may want to be a close range, but this is our heaviest mech now. I kind of want it to be taking fire. So I think what I want to do is I want to start this repairing, pay for it, it's fine. Drop the snub nose off of it, and draw, or at least the one snub nose. Maybe all of them, right? Like there's another heat bank here that's part of our building that could be useful. I mean, this is a long ways away before this gets to see play, because this is 12 days before it's repaired, let alone another fitting time. Like a lot of things change by then. I'm really tempted to just pull it all apart. Like grab the other gunnery support off of it. Standard, the SLIC suite. I think we want to do that to this thing. All right.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
I'm sure that's last. Let's go to the cell, the long tom. Yeah, exactly. It's got Death Ridge. I think because of how far out it is, we'll have a better... Well, A, we'll see how the Griffin performs, which we haven't seen yet, and we're going to have to use because it's going to be one of our mechs that's available. And B, we'll get some sense of what we can do when we have different equipment, right? Because our equipment's going to change in that amount of time. Not a ton, but you know, we'll get two rounds of loot. So we should probably try to incorporate that. So, because if I build that as a mid-range PPC, which I could build it. I think probably that the catapult ends up replacing our long-range sniper, but that's a little bit sad because our long-range sniper really doesn't need ammo, but it could, I guess, use ammo, or doesn't need armor, but it could. Where's my long tom ammo I just stripped off? I just stripped it off. Why the fuck isn't it here? Definitely not here. Is it something else? Is it rocket ammo, maybe? I literally just took that off. Where is it? Oh. Wait, it doesn't insta-strip? Okay, that's a problem. Takes a day for it actually to be stripped. Is that true? It's not that. It's not going to strip in 14 days or 22 days when the Marauder work's done, right? It's going to insta-strip the stuff and then repair it. Let's see how that actually looks. I did cancel it. What did I cancel if I didn't cancel that? I did cancel it. Stupid thing. All right, so we need 1 day. Game.
Got a new financial report for you, Commander.
Okay. That's fine. All right, we need to work with this. So this needs to be refit. I think I can refit strip components. So the components are off now. So now we can just repair it. Which is 9 days instead of 22. Okay.
Logged and noted.
All right.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Mid-range is done in 1 day. Let's move time forward for that. Okay, a Shadowhawk is desperately in need of fitting right now, right? And it needs to be plugged into the 1 day thing. So this is, okay, this is our replacement laser boat, and we haven't even started building it. I also need to get a count of what ECM we're running, since like when we start flipping our lance around like this so much, we lose track of what ECM's active and what isn't. So I want to start building that. Do we wait one more day to get back our mid-range? Probably. Let's hope it doesn't fuck me on the timing. All right, one day here. Yeah. Have I ever played any of the first-person shooter MechWarrior games? I played MechWarrior 2 as a kid and loved the fuck out of that game. That was when you bought physical games. My dad bought it for me at a computer convention, brought it back for me. And it had a manual, and the manual had like writing in it, but it was like printed writing, but I didn't know it was printed writing as a kid, and I couldn't figure out like who had wrote all those notes in there and why they had done it. But I loved the fuck out of that game. The game was so much fun. Fond memories. I wonder what the release date of that game was. Like, yeah, I played MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries as a kid too. Which was not as good as the original Mech 2. The intro for that game was so good. The intro cutscene. Although I imagine if I watched it now, I'd be super disappointed. But as a kid, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. All right. We're messing with the 1995. Yeah, it probably makes sense. All right, so this thing has come off the... All right, red button is repaired now. All right, how happy are we with red button stuff? And what else could we do with it? I was very happy with the tag barrage on red button. I think you need the case. The thing I've been least excited about, quite honestly, this is A20 slug. Don't we have just base AC ammo now? Oh, it's not. It's LBX. So we're still missing LBX ammo. Son of a bitch. Inferno fluid gun on the Valkyrie. I'm not sure where we're going to get that in. The other thing this thing could use is an AMS. We have the laser AMS is free now. So we could put laser AMS on this. But I don't actually care if they're shooting missiles at this guy. The whole point of this thing is supposed to be hunker down, fortify, and be a fucking tank while it gets close to kill people. So this is non-clan endo steel, but that's okay. We don't have infinite clan endo steels. We got like 2 or 3 now. We have 1 floating. Could run composite on it. Is it the same weight change? Yeah. So we could drop composite in it. Opens up a ton of slots, which we could then throw in ferrofibrous. We could get some weight. We might have to do that later for ammo for the LBX. Or if we're trying to get... I mean, because... dude, this guy has such shit piloting skill. Or such shit gunnery skill, rather. That it becomes really... I've been really unexcited with the boomstick hits. Although the 20% melee damage is good, I guess. What other probes do we have here? This is probably fine. It runs the C3 slave. Don't we have a better slave? Is this the better slave? This might be the better slave. No, that's a... Oh, this is the all-in-one deal, huh? 3 tons, 2 slots. This is currently 2.5 tons. I don't think I want to spend the clan endo steel here, or the whatever it was, either of these, clan endosteel or the composite. I think we're going to need to build those into other things. This might just be fine. Yeah, fallacies, that is true. We could pull the boomstick off here and try to use it on the mid-range mech. For some reason, the melee LBX-20 has fucking 240 optimal, which is like twice as good. Could upgrade the engine, give it a longer run thing, but the whole point right now of its engine size is it flies. And this may honestly be a low priority fix because our mech bay time right now is pretty taxed, pretty busy. And it may be better to fix what, rather than tweak this, maybe better to do what we can for the other things. Did we pick up new arms? This replaces hand actuator. This is already replacing hand actuator, same with that. Tractable blade is hand actuator as well. That's also a hand actuator. And these can't go on it because it's not a clan mech, right? 1 accuracy with arm-mounted weapons, 10% melee damage. Oh, we have another omnipod lower arm. Okay. This was the one I was thinking of, though. Melee accuracy. Does it do the same thing? This is melee accuracy, melee damage, melee stability, piloting, standing up. Is this the same fucking thing? It is the same thing. Does it do something different? Is it way less? 0, 1... 110, 5, 5. 110, 10, 5. Oh, it's slightly better melee stability damage. And it can't be used there. Okay. Yeah, I know the hand doesn't equal the lower arm. Oh, but this is a hand. Oh, I see. This was the one we were looking at then, the lower arm. But this is a... this is a long-range one. Okay, never mind. I think maybe we don't fuck with this. This is okay. I think there are improvements to be made, mostly with changing the internal, changing the endosteel around so we can throw armor slots on, and then using the extra weight from the ferrofibrous armor to put in a little bit more of something. Maybe we could do the major overhaul and pull out the LBX autocannon and put something else, although I don't want to lose the 20% melee damage, and I don't think there's anything I can put in comparatively. And we did sell off our other melee weapons, which probably was a mistake in retrospect, but what can we do? So I think we leave this alone for now. Because it's working as intended, even if it could be slightly better. But we need all of our mech bay time right now, because we're about to build the... build our Shadowhawk. Finish building our Shadowhawk, start building our Shadowhawk. This hasn't even been done yet. Maybe the Centurion. We're gonna tweak the line breaker slightly when it comes out, and we're gonna tweak the Griffin. So the Griffin is maybe the next task here, and we gotta get that fucking Shadowhawk in there too. So I'm pretty sure we just straight up change a PPC for a large pulse, and it may just be me being fussy with having the same weapon systems, because it may not matter here. Although a gunnery implant might be nice here. Depends where we need that accuracy. A mid-range weapon is not terrible to have plus accuracy modifiers on. What's the heat on this? Heat on this is 30. Heat on this is 35. Damage is 60 single shot. This is damage 45 triple shot. Damage 16 triple shot. Yeah, I definitely want to change that out. Does it weigh the same? 6.2. 6.2, it does. So this is probably drop that. We got another snub nose. So this is why I'm not super excited about building a 4 PPC. Wait, how did we gain a fucking ton back? No, we left the ton for the AMS ammo. That's what we did. We still don't have AMS ammo. We could put the laser AMS on this guy. And we do have the brain implant. Do we have 2 A's and 2 B's? We've got an A and 2 B's, and then another B. Why are these differently stacked? I like how it says you have 2 here, and then I mouse over this one and it also says you have 2, but in fact I have 1 and 2, which is 3. One needs to be repaired. How do I repair modules? No, we don't want the energy in here. I do wonder about, is this an FCS increase? It's a cockpit increase. That's our sniper piece of equipment. This is not a clan mech, right? So I can't put arm accuracy on, because arm accuracy would be fucking good. Oh, we already have arm accuracy on the lower arm. So what does this thing do? 110.55 lower. It says Omni-Mech lower. But if we do this, it's 110.5. It's exactly identical. 110.55. Why am I holding this piece of equipment? 110.55. 110.55. It's actually worse because it can't be used with fucking PPCs. Oh, Omnimex don't have it already. I see. So the gunnery cockpit is fine. Sensor sniper is fine. Sweet takes the cockpit, right? We can run a support piece in here, maybe. This is cockpit. Do we want one of these on this? 1 accuracy with ranged weapons, 1 evasion pips ignored, plus 1 recoil with ranged weapons. That's the pirate FCS. These are already 2 recoil. We don't want to go to 3. 3 becomes real recoil. How about this one? Zoom accuracy increase every 180 meters. We're looking to shoot this guy at about 300 meters. 270, 300 is about where this thing wants to be fighting from. So we can get some slight boost out of this. I'm not sure if granting evasive shot, breaching shot on this thing matters. We'll leave the energy for something else. It's not using missiles. So it literally is, do we want gunnery in the head? Also, how's the heat on this? I think we just upped the heat, right? I think we have a better exchanger now as well. Although I think it's under this one. Yeah, we have an exchanger plus if we want. Do we have 2 of them? No. We have a heat bank in here. Actually, we have 3 heat bank pluses, also weirdly distributed. I guess we gotta do math here. So heat sinks. 1, 2. So this is 66 internal. No modifiers on heat that I see. That's not true. The exchanger is. But 66 and then 4 external heat sinks for another 24. So that's 90. This is 93. All right, where's my calculator? FCS energy does the opposite of helps with the heat. It adds heat. Morning, Thirsty. So what do we say? 93. And then what is the actual mech generating? It's generating 3 snub nose per round, which is 35. So it's getting 105, dumping 93, but it's not 105. It's 105 times 0.85. Oops. $89. So it's actually it's heat neutral with this. This is fine then. The 1 ton is still saved. Okay, so this is just fine. We just wanted to do that then. That's what we want to be doing. There's some argument for whether or not we want the stub nose PPCs. There's some argument for the headgear. That's the question. No, hovering over the heat bar is a trap. It's inefficient. It doesn't calculate all the things that are being in there, so it doesn't tell you accurate information. So you get trolled by it. I think we probably do want at least one of the head pieces in here. Probably one of the gunnery support Bs. Whoa, how did I repair it then? Okay. I did calculate the pilot heat reduction, Thirsty. That's why I did 0.85 instead of 0.9. That's okay. And what was the last piece of headgear we were looking at? We were looking at FCS changes. This is going on the... This is probably going on the lasers. Although we could put it here. There's an argument for the guys at mid-range needing the accuracy boost more than the guys at close range. Slightly. Slight argument for that. Two gunnery in the head, sensor sniper. Yes or no on this? That's a nice one. I never see that accuracy calculated, this fucking advanced zoom accuracy. What does our current FCS do for us? Nothing, right? Alright, I think we say yes to this.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
This is basically ready to go, so it needs to be kicked up ahead of that. 2 days to work on that. Alright, I need the line breaker done. That's 4 days out. To do that, we need to change the Shadowhawk. So the Shadowhawk, this is a major refit. This is going to be fun, because this is building a boat basically from scratch. Alright, what do we want on it? How big do we want the engine? 275 is a little bit slow for what I want it to do. I kind of want a bigger engine. We have a 300. Giving us what for movement? Alternatively, we could try the dream eventually at one point was a jump jet thing, but it was just too inaccurate. I mean, maybe we can relive the jump jet dream. I mean, this wants to, pulse lasers want to jump behind and fucking kill something. Yeah, why does it only have 7 free tonnage? I mean, don't worry about the tonnage. We have so many things to change on this, right? Like this is, oh shit. You know what I fucking forgot to do on the last one? What is it? What was the gyro we're running on the what we're running on this guy here? I don't know if we can afford it, fallacies, but I'm pretty sure all stores have those core. So this is the gyro UL. So this trades stability. It's a mid-range thing. It's supposed to be running an AMS. Let's make sure we don't walk out of here without equipping our fucking stuff. Where's my PPCs here? There's that in the gunnery mod, right? So that's what's happening on it. But we were just looking at this other gyros, which I don't think do anything for us. I want these fucking gyro defenses on, but I don't think they... Yeah, this is a weight reduction.
You have returned.
Wooloo.
Sui, 60 months, man. Thank you for the continued support. It's so long, man. It's so long. All right. So that was actually fine then. Okay.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
All right. So that leaves the Shadowhawk build. This is gonna be our new pulse boat. This is what we want to do with this thing. And medium pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 recoil and 1 arm. Doesn't work that way. I don't think it works that way. Pretty sure just they each generate. Pretty sure it's they each generate 2 recoil reduced by 2 from gunnery skill. So they actually generate 0. So that's a start. We need to tackle this mobility question because that needs to be part of the core design of the mech. Are we okay with 6 hex, 10 hex? This one is absolutely gonna want the gyro defense. Because I really like this +1 maximum +1 evasion pip gain from movement is just fucking great. +1 defense is great too. I think engine is something I should consider last. I don't think so. I think that we need to decide that sooner rather than later. Do I have another clan endo? Yes, I've got 1 clan endo right now. All right, this has 2 laser slots left. I hate wasting my laser slots. I do have 1 more medium pulse. $150 optimal is so close. This is in your fucking face. We could run those medium chems over here. I don't know why. They'd just be, you know, they're lighter. They take some ammo. I really like this thing to be able to overheat though. This could be pirates in the meantime. Still 180 optimal. I don't love this weapon. So we have 0, we have 1 pulse. We're actually 1 pulse short of 8. And we lost the pulse. The arm that blew up took a pulse laser with it and took a fucking goddamn stealth system with it. Yeah. So this weighs 2 tons. I would like a placeholder, something that weighs 2 tons. mean, that's a placeholder for the heat. No, it's not. Medium pulses are 25. Wait, what? Really? Why is that one 25? Oh, this is something different. Increased accuracy and range. Increased accuracy and heat. No. Pulses are +1 accuracy and ignore 1 evasion. What are medium pulse then? +1 accuracy, ignore 1 evasion, it's +2 accuracy. Oh. Ew. Well, that's not really what I want, but I mean, it's a placeholder till we get the rest of the pulses sorted out, I guess. I mean, this thing's gonna run insanely hot, right? So we're gonna run. I mean, is this the day we bring the? Where's my fucking engine block? The fuel cell. Put 1 EL large for 4 tons instead of this thing. Is that what it weighed? ER large laser, 5 tons. ER large laser clan, 4 tons. Generating 36. 36 is 218s. This is 15. That's a really good placeholder. All right. I don't really want extended range on it particularly. Can we have something that's not extended range? How about just like a large pulse? That's 7 and 1. Large pulse, 6. ER large, medium pulse, medium laser. How about something else? Light PPC. Tonnage 3. Snub-nose PPC. Tonnage 6. So we're looking at 30 heat. 22, weighs 3. We're looking at 4 weight. $22 and 9, isn't that basically that? So that's 30 heat. This is 31 heat. This is 4 weight. Okay. Alright. You don't like Mech Lab? Oh, I'm sorry, man. I love Mech Lab. We get the fucking... This is rebuilding... This is such a long-lasting implication on how we play all of our future missions. Alright, we're 1 million tons overweight. We gotta start dealing with that. And I kind of want to up the engine size still, and we're not running an appropriate number of jump jets. I think fusion core. I'm not sure what you're meaning. So we've got other, I think this is gonna want a Clan XLC, or an XLC, which is a Clan XL. You think fuel cell? I'm not sure we can support a fuel cell. Can we do that as well? Okay, fuel cell can't be used with engine HS1, sure. Fuel cell can't be used with desync, sure. So, dude, this is so expensive already. That just fucking wrecks the weight. There's no way a fuel cell can run on this. Right? Like, even if we were to run like all the weight reduction. Not even fucking close. Did that just charge me up to put that back on? Not sure. And I want the gyro defense because we're close range. I hate the fact that we don't have fucking stealth on this. This was always supposed to have stealth on it. We have a shit ton of ECM we got to get in there, so we need to work on weight. That's going to be the armors and the engines. I don't mind a Clan XL here. This is a close range brawler that really needs to not die, so putting an XL engine on it is okay, but not making it kill me when the torso goes is probably nice. That gets weight down. Heat's still a big issue. We haven't even started plugging those in. We should start. I guess we should look at the ECM package we want to run, and then the heat stuff we want to run, and then fit these last to try to even that out. I want to run 8 pulse on this fucking thing eventually, because that's the dream. This is a pulse boat. Didn't we have like arm laser accuracy? No, that was on the Omni-Mech. There's something else. Oh, it's headgear, right? So we get ballistic, we get laser accuracy here. We don't want breaching shot. We want gunnery here. Do we want double gunnery? I'm not sure. Clan cockpit. Runs. I mean, this is going to be +4 gunnery. So gunnery is not accuracy. So that's something to think about. Although they're related. We need a smaller engine? Fuck smaller engines. I want to go up in engine size, not down. So gunnery support A, gunnery support B. So we've got 1, 2, 3 gunnery and an accuracy off the headgear, which is pretty intense, man. Is that too much accuracy for a close range thing? Do we need that much accuracy? I don't know. Depends what else the mechs need, what other mechs need it. Alright, let's start looking at the E-War. We should also consider the SLIC suite on this guy. I don't know who else is running that right now. Lance sensor range, lance sight range. No. Guess we don't. SRMS instead of the other energy slots. Yes, short range missiles here. I don't really want to spread the types of weapons on this. I mean, honestly, SRMs are very similar to pulse lasers and how they deal damage. So it's not like we're fucking ourselves there. We'd have to figure out ammo storage if we did something like that. Maybe we get both. We're really greedy. I mean, here is where multi-shot could actually be useful. If we ran some, like, chaff fucking ammo or something. Put rockets in there, too. I really don't hate the idea of rockets in here. We have those hard points. It just makes for really nice alpha one day. Probably long-term, a little bit more easy to fit to 1 ton. Don't worry about the heat on it. It's just for 1 round. All right, but let's start hitting the other stuff in here. So these almost always want the pulse boats go really hot. So having an exchanger is really nice, and having a heat bank is really nice. Yeah. I don't really think of it as a heat problem so much as I think of it as an opportunity for creative mech fitting. We also want to get these jump jets going. As per always, I feel like cutting jump jets. Whether or not we can realistically do that, I don't know yet. Exactly. I think fallacies is accurate in the way that SRMs are very similar to medium pulse. Maybe we just put the pulse on the arms. The minus accuracy for these systems is really unexciting to me. Like this position. My issue with missiles is you have to pay a cost of ammo, right? So like, let's compare 2 pulses to SRMs, right? So what are we actually getting out of SRMs? And also, what SRMs could we run? So we've got one clan streak, which is nice.